So, thank you, Dr. Malik. In regard, my warmest thanks to you and the examiners committee. My name is Jutmund Runde. I'm located in the west coast of Norway. I hold an education as a master mariner and have worked as a captain for several years in various ships worldwide. I also hold a Master of Commercial Law from the University of Salford in Manchester in the UK. And since 2012, I have been working as a managing director for a smaller shipping company here, and have for the last 10 years seen the business develop within the branch of technologically and environmentally to the goals that is demanded today. Due to the highly expanding technological development in ship types and ship systems, there have already been set in service prototypes of autonomous ships. Due to this, I decided to do a doctorate to research the impact of these new ship models and their impact of the commercial shipping companies. Commercial shipping companies are subject to follow international rules and regulations in order to operate the traditional business models. But the impact of restructuring of these business models facing the autonomous ships have so far little related literature and opens for research. This is why I came up with the topic and final research question: how will autonomous shipping affect the business model of commercial shipping companies? So why this question? It's to analyze the connections between the autonomous shipping and value proposition and the revenue action and competitive, and it will be possible to address the end client. By pursuing a literature review following the model of the key author Saunders, I found a gap in the source of knowledge in the current autonomous shipping scenarios. Until 2021, only 19 papers was published in the topic. Only historical information on autonomous ships is academically published. This gives us the knowledge gap for business models for future autonomous shipping. And by pursuing this study, it will supply the body of knowledge in the broad field of autonomous shipping, but in the narrow area of business model. Based upon the traditional business model within the shipping industry, we can find a lot of good literature and analysis. For the future shipping, there is a major gap. For the research objective, the purpose of this study is to provide a conceptual map for researchers to develop a framework to evaluate the impact that autonomous ships has on the business propositions of commercial shipping companies. The opportunity of a conceptual map is not to present the scholarly completeness, nor prove conceptual depth. It should be recognized as a structural conceptual view, providing directions for further autonomous shipping research and relevance for practice, by using independent variables to get dependent variables. The broader impact for this research project is to benefit the society or advance desired social outcomes by determining and investigating the objectives in the topic. So by determining how autonomous shipping affects commercial shipping companies' business propositions and investigate financial impact of autonomous shipping on the commercial shipping companies, and determine the competitive strategy of autonomous shipping companies and commercial shipping operations, and determine the relationship between autonomous shipping and the target clients of commercial shipping companies. For my research methodology, I will be using a quantitative approach by pursuing a multiple case study of the three largest Chinese shipping companies, COSCO, Shanghu, and Tong. A descriptive research technique questionnaires will be used to study the aims and hypotheses of this research, meant for the population of stakeholders and employees within these three companies. Get qualitative data that will be analyzed. By using the research models by Yin, my data analysis will give the conclusions. And as Robertson self says, readability, credibility, and concern within conformability all matter. The SPSS program will be used to evaluate the data obtained. This will be used because it allows consumers to assess and understand data quickly. A descriptive statistical analysis will be performed to determine the degree of reaction to each variable factor. Linear regression will be used to examine the hypothesis because regression is a suitable technique for assessing effects. It is used to determine whether or not there should be a statistical link between dependent and independent variables, the magnitude of the relationship, and whether one variable can be anticipated from another. The questionnaire that will be conducted will be faced to the 3 Chinese shipping companies with 50 questions questionnaire each, and it will be 50 participants. Questionnaires will be divided in 2. The first section will be the demographics of the participants, and the section 2 will be the study questions in general. And it will be then scaled up in using the Likert scale. And then the data will be submitted in the SPSS system and will be analyzed there for the final approach. More examination of present autonomous shipping techniques might be done in the literature review that conducts critical reflection research. Rather than analyzing past experiences, current norms can be emphasized when company models change. Furthermore, only a few themes are covered in the literature review due to the shorter periods. Autonomous shipping is a broad term that encompasses various tasks that help bring about specific changes. The literature review did not go through all the parts. Furthermore, more scholarly evaluations or arguments are needed to build a more realistic study in the literature review. So based upon my critical reflection of the research, the autonomous shipping technology is in high demand and it's in a high advance. And also the task for the shipping and a realistic study of the literature review. After the topic reflection on a critical point of view, I have cited the reflected on action. Studies reveal that the skepsis of an autonomous shipping is high. And during the reflection in action, that the human error can be eliminated by increasing the autonomous shipping. Reflect for action, the study will take action for the improvement of the business model for autonomous shipping. This before the vessel tape is taken in commercial lines, but after prototypes are done. For my action plan, I have given myself 12 months pursuing from this day forward, and that includes the planning of the case study and initial meeting with respondents, hopefully this year, and the data collection for the receivement of the questionnaires, and analyzing the data and writing the thesis during next year. According to the anticipated difficulties, I've identified time as the most challenging factor. This study will be taken alongside my full-time job as an executive and alongside my family life. In terms of funds, this study is fully funded by myself. Distance, the case study subjects are based in China and I'm located in Norway. This gives us the issue of time and funds for travel in regard to attend appointments and meetings, and also the risk for the correction of study, and also unforeseen setbacks that always will occur. For the proposed solutions, time may occur challenging as time changes, and also the time zones between China and Norway is about 8 hours. For funding, in terms of lack of funding, there will be seek various support schemes, and to avoid travel and risk of unforeseen issues in depth of the post-pandemic, I will focus on virtual meetings and digital communication. As mentioned in my slide of my action plan, I will be conducting protocols to ensure strategies if or when difficulties occur. that was what I had for the short presentation of my doctoral within the time limit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jutmund. So allow me just to repeat again the question process here. What I will do is give the opportunity for the members of the committee to ask you questions. Again, only the members of the committee may ask the questions, and they are 2 to 4 questions per examiner, and there will be 2 rounds. And thereafter, the committee will leave the room. You may stay, and there'll be a deliberation. Okay, may I open the floor to the panelists as you wish.
If possible, I can start again. Thank you for the presentation, Jutmund. I want to ask you about the business model. You defined, you selected 4 factors in the business model. Yeah, and there are different approaches to defining business models. One of them is maybe most extensive, has 9 factors, so-called business model canvas, general one. It also has, in addition to the factors you mentioned, it has cost structure, what else? It has partnership relationships, 9 elements. Did you think about that, and did you choose intentionally based on some previous research, the 4 elements you decided to focus?
Thank you for the question, Sergey. I have taken in consideration the 9 variables you just mentioned. My primary focus on my study will be more up against the commercial challenges, up against rules and regulations in IMO, the existing commercial challenges that are for the conventional ships, and when you get new ships without any of these challenges. So if we take a look at the business model for autonomous ships, there is not developed any process or protocol for how to operate them, in compared with the conventional ones, because then you have the crewing ship operating factors. So as you say, the financial funding of the vessel, the rising and the principle of cargo handling and all that, that is one league, and the league I'm going to focus on and research on is the operational aspect of these vessels from a shipping line perspective.
I see. Okay, thank you. And also, what are your plans for this challenge, like that the Chinese companies and the Norwegian, how you're going to interpret that and make any kind of analysis?
Even though the main office is located in China, these ships are currently worldwide, and from time to time, so am I. So I will be able to pursue through my network of colleagues in the branch to both employees in China and also employees on board these vessels to get their impact.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, I can go next. I was wondering, you're interviewing the employees of these companies. Do you think they could be biased in terms of the answers they would give you in your questioning?
I don't think so. I think there is quite a good optimistic approach from the participants generally, but of course I will select the various.
Sorry, I don't hear it. Only me who doesn't hear you.
I can hear.
I can hear as well. Okay.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, the participants of the employees in these companies will be selected in various groups of the demographical in terms of positions. Of course, the managers and the sailors again will be developed into various groups to get the A, B, and C data of their demographics.
Okay, so you don't foresee, for example, that there would be some opposition from one group towards autonomous shipping, whereas a much more positive view from the side of the managers, for example?
That is taken in consideration, and that's why there is also will be conducted the value of the result. The data that will be received will be categorized.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for your nice research idea again, and also nice presentation, even the short time. It's very nice. My question is relating, so my understanding, so because I'm not in this business modeling field, but I can see the method that you're using in this research. So it feels to me it's a qualitative research because you will do interviews, and also I can see that you're going to use some quantitative research methods, which is including regression analysis. So in this regression analysis, you explained your dependent and independent variables. I just got a bit confused. Do you mind just clarifying it again? And also, is it like just a simple OLS regression you're going to use? Or do you have control variables? How you are going to get your control variables? Because I'm pretty sure it's because in my research I use it, but now I would like to see how you are going to apply this technique in your study. And also, I just want to put another question that you mentioned you're going to send your questions or have the interview with the employees. But this consent process and how much it will take, do you have an idea? Because probably they need to get a consent, right? If employees want to talk about the company and etc., how this will, like how you will manage all of this. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for your questions. To the question number one, the research objectives you're referring to, which will be the independent and dependent variables. Of course, the independent variable is the autonomous ships, and the dependent will be the target customers and all the variables as I listed. And these will be categorized in the data, which will be analyzed when it receives back. And that will be done to try and answer the research objectives. In terms of the approval for participants in the employees, these three companies have given so far mutual consent to give me, and that's why I chose them. They are the largest and one of the larger in the world, and they are quite demanding and they're quite market strong. And also they will have a lot of employees. There's almost 1,200 employees in each of them.
Thanks for your responses.
Okay, we can move into the second round of questions, if there are any second round questions before we go into our deliberation.
I'm done. Okay, fully clear.
Maybe I can ask one more. So we've heard a lot in the last year or two about how shipping has been a bit more in the news because of COVID and then the war in Ukraine. Do you think this will impact your research at all with the current Chinese lockdowns, the increased cost of materials, for example?
Not regarding to the study or the research generally, but the situation, as you mentioned, will be, of course, affected in the research. We got the latest accident in the Suez Canal about the Ever Given that got stuck, and like you mentioned, the Ukrainian crisis and the Chinese there, and of course, it's all. That's half the purpose of the autonomous shipping, because all these matters is up against human error. So I think in the end of the day, it will affect the study somehow and the research project somehow, but in terms of conclusions and the impact of the research in the body of knowledge will be won't affect it that.
Okay, so you think it's a bigger driving factor for companies to now move towards autonomous shipping?
Yeah, several prototypes are actually in service as we speak, so it is common and it's coming fast.
And with the companies that you're asking, they also already have autonomous ships?
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any final questions in the second round of questions? Okay, so if there are no final questions, then we will enter into the breakout session for the committee to deliberate, and our technology support will carry out that magic for us. Now, then also provide the decision on autonomous shipping by Jutmund Runde, and also selected for this process was Dr. Meadows to provide the final decision. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So also to start with the points for potential improvement before the verdict. So one of our concerns was simply the small sample size of companies that you were using in the study. So we understand that these are global companies, but to be sure that this is representative. And then there was the question that Najat asked about the regression, and I think he's happy, in case you want to talk to him some more about this, to have some more advice in how you can prevent bias, for example, in this. But in any case, we feel that you're very, very well suited to this research, that it's clearly something that as something that you're passionate about will go well in any case, so we are happy to pass you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so with that, congratulations, Marcus Ellick and Jutmund Runde, on the passing of your dissertation research proposal. Well, now the work begins, I think. Now the true work begins. So with that, we can close out this this process. And again, congratulations. And thank you one more time to the panel members for your input. And yes, well done. Thank you very much. And goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening together. Bye.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you. Bye.